Welcome back to the show, guys. Now let's take off. Two sports documentaries were nominated at this year's AMVCA, Green the Amazons and Way to the Top. Amiola Aguda had the pleasure of sitting with Charles Solomon, the producer, and he shared with us more insights into both films and more.
The Nigerian film industry is one that is continuously expanding. Now, I, for one, am particularly proud of how much it has grown to include our everyday realities in the genres that we see today. My guest is a movie director, producer who has not only found his niche in a particular genre, but two of his films are also nominated in the same category at this year's AMVCAs. I'm talking about nobody else but Solomon Charles.
Daddy, I got training.
Okay. Mama got Nigeria guy represent Nigeria your country.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
It's good to have you here. Thank you for coming as well.
I appreciate it.
First of all, how does it feel? Two films in the same category. I think that's wow.
Yeah, I'm over the moon.
It's like you're competing with your own self.
Right. Right.
So how did you feel like when you saw those nominations?
Wow, it's funny because we were actually looking forward to Green the Amazons. It's a bigger project. We were looking forward to that one getting nominated. The smaller one, we thought we didn't have any chance for that one getting nominated. So we just put it in the pod and said, you know, whatever happens, happens. Yeah. So my crew were watching in Nigeria. I'm based in the United States, and they were looking out for Green the Amazons. And when they saw it, they did not wait to hear the entire announcement. And we were rejoicing, jumping for joy for Green the Amazons getting nominated. And then later on, somebody tagged us on social media and said, oh, you did Way to the Top as well, that's been nominated. So, double celebrations.
Double
yeah.
Love it. So let's talk about your films, Way to the Top and then Green the Amazons. Which one came first?
Green the Amazons was produced first.
Okay, so what's that one about? It's about 5 women in sports. Mm-hmm. So tell us about it.
So it's about five female sports, 5 female athletes in different sports. We had to, actually the story is about how female athletes in Nigeria, Africa are already behind the 8 balls, so to speak, when it comes to them trying to get to their goals, their career. So we had to look for 5 female athletes in Nigeria and, let them tell their stories and go behind the scenes and see what they have to go through to get to where they're trying to get to. So everybody in Nigeria, we're already used to football. Yeah. So we decided to make it diverse. Okay. So we did golf, football, athletics, basketball, and boxing. Okay. So 5 of them, 4 were based here in Lagos, 1 was in Abuja, and we shot within 8 days. Wow. Yeah, okay. It was a hectic production, yeah.
8 days for the entire production, Lagos and Abuja?
Yes.
That's very interesting. So these women are, the women who you use in the film are the real women with the stories? It's
yes.
Not, they weren't played by other people?
No, these are real life stories.
Okay, yeah. Okay, that's very interesting to know.
Yeah.
And then Way to the Top?
Yes, Way to the Top is somewhat similar, but obviously this one male sports. Okay. We had a boxer and a basketballer. It's somewhat smaller when you compare it to Green the Amazons, because with Green we had analysts, pundits, say 1 or 2 things when it comes to female sports. We actually had a pundit that works here at News Central.
Really?
Yes. Onyinye, when you watch, she had some contributions. But Way to the Top was smaller in the sense that it was just the athletes. The interviews were with the athletes. Obviously, we went behind the scenes and saw them training and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, is sports particularly special to you? Because these two are, okay, are you an athlete yourself?
I'm not an athlete, right? I wanted to be an athlete. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. But, every sports fan in Nigeria, growing up, you wanted to be a footballer or something else. But, life happens, you grow, and then go in another direction. But as I went in another direction, I promised myself when I have the means, I'll come back and tell sports stories in Africa, right? Not just Nigeria.
Yeah.
Try to expand it, you know, go in the neighborhoods and talk to athletes, the ones that are established and the ones that are trying to get to where they're trying to get to, and, you know, tell their stories, because each and every single one of them have a story to tell.
Yes.
So that's what my company, that's what the goal is.
So I think it's brilliant that you're telling sports stories with film, because I think if it's working in the Western world, like Creed is doing so well, it's done 3 parts now. And so I think it's definitely doable here on this part. So aside from these 2 films or these 2 documentaries, are there stories you plan to tell on, you know, already existing? I mean, you already did say that you were going to tell more sports stories on people who are already established and the upcoming ones.
Yeah.
So are there already things you've done or things in the pipeline to that regard?
Yeah, so we're working on more stories. The good thing is, you walk on the streets, everybody has a story to tell, especially when it comes to sports stories. So the goal is to do sports feature films, centrally in Africa, documentaries, short films as well. In the coming weeks, we have a production rolling out somewhere in other parts of Nigeria, and in the coming years, or months, we would like to expand to not just Nigeria, to move out of Nigeria and tell more African sports stories.
Okay.
I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, we have a short film that we also shot that came out sometime last year, and it had some festival nominations and won some awards as well. It's called Gold.
Okay.
And it's a story about the Atlanta 96 Super Eagles.
Oh, nice. So where can people see these things you've done? There's Gold, there's Way to the Top, there's Green the Amazons.
Yeah.
People would want to watch it, I'm sure. Where
I
can they?
appreciate that you actually remember the names of the three, because sometimes I struggle to remember the names of the films. Yeah. So mostly we have, for Green the Amazons and Way to the Top, we have them on Amazon Prime Video.
Okay.
For US and UK-based viewers. For worldwide audience, we have them on Afroland TV. It's a streaming platform online, and it's completely free, so you don't have to pay nothing. Okay. So the goal is to get to a point where we have exclusive deals with, this streaming platform.
Streaming platforms. I think that would make it a lot easier.
Right.
I wish you all the best with your nominations. I hope that you bag at least.
Amen.
I mean, if the 2 can win in the same category, that would be fantastic. But only one can.
Yeah.
But like, we're wishing you all the best. Fingers crossed that you take it
Thank you
home.
so much for having
Is it a voting category? Do people get to vote?
Not.
It's not.
I wish
okay.
it was.
So we can only pray and hope that you do. All right. Thank you so much. All the best in your future endeavors. We're looking out for you, cheering you on, and all of that stuff.
I appreciate it. Thanks
Great.
for having me.
You know that we bring you all the most enlightening conversations right here on East Central. Solomon Charles is up for an AMVCA, and we hope that he wins. But even if he doesn't, you definitely need to check out his sports documentaries, because I think he's doing amazing. Until the next conversation we have, my name is Amiola saying au revoir.